Hey everybody, how's it going? Chesapeake here. Figured I'd do a little video about how I'm using my Warbonnet XLC winter cover that didn't come with my XLC. Since when I ordered it last year, this time last year, I forgot to add the winter cover to my order. So when the hammock came, I realized they didn't have a winter cover. So I kind of asked around on Hammock Forum, and I found another forum member who had an extra one from an XLC that he had bought a year or so prior that he figured that he would send me to see if they fit. So I got it from him and put it on, and quickly realized that while the zippers matched, I could zip it on. The zipper ends didn't line up, so the winter cover was crooked, and it didn't really work. So it made the whole hammock crooked, and it just didn't fit well. So I thought about it for a while, and what I ended up doing was leaving the netting zipped and toggled and clipped on just like normal. But then on top of that, I add the winter cover, toggle it, and clip it on all four tie out guy out points. So what it does is it keeps the shape and the same amount of room inside, adds the winter cover on top, and as you can see here, it creates a vent right by my head since the fabric from the winter cover doesn't have holes for the line to go through, so it can come down to be zipped on. So it just gets tucked up underneath between the winter cover top and the netting, and that creates a nice vent right here, right by my head where air can come in, condensation can go out, and then it stops right up here. The rest of the way around the hammock, over here on the foot box, the extra fabric that is left from the winter cover where it would be zipped on underneath the foot box is tucked in my underquilt, and then it's kept nice and tight on the outside with underquilt hooks that I'll show you when I get out. And then right here on the shelf, it's the same. There's a little, sorry about that there. There's a little bit of a gap, but it's really not noticeable. The main thing is this nice vent right by my head here that is is great. I can, if I want to take the winter cover halfway off, I just unclip both of these right here, and then I can just fold it up from on the outside, and then I've still got protection, a little bit with the netting still on, but then only half of the winter cover is on, so it's half on, half off with the net. Or I can just unzip the netting as well. So I've got more adjustability and more versatility with it this way. Even though it's not zipped on, it's still attached just as well. But I've got the added benefit of the netting being on to hold a little bit more heat in. But at the same time, I've got the vent over on this side to allow fresh air in and moisture condensation buildup, you know, to get out. So I don't have any issues with build up condensation on the inside. My quilt's getting wet, sweating, you know, uh, moisture building up inside here on the top and on the sides doesn't happen because I've got this nice vent right here. So let me hop out. Bear with me for a second. You can see the damage from the raccoon incident of 16 there. Let me hop out real quick. Bear with me, and I'll show you what I mean. Zip it up real quick here. So from the outside, it looks pretty much the same as if the winter cover was zipped on. But you can see here, it's toggled. Same thing with the foot end. And here's that netting vent that I was talking about. And with the hammock loaded, you can see where you've got that vent right there. And here's the end for the the hammock and the zipper of the netting. But the winter cover zipper end is down here since they make them in different batches. So it just kind of hangs right here on this side. But having the underquilt hooks keeps it nice and tight around the foot end here. Come over here to the foot side, the footbox side. This extra fabric, instead of just flapping in the wind, gets tucked in my underquilt and it stays in there. High winds, doesn't matter, it stays nice and tight in there. Got my TQZQ underquilt protector. The ribbons I tie together from the hammock to the winter cover and the netting just like normal to keep it secure there. And then again, all 4 of these mitten hooks get clipped in with the netting and the winter cover. And you can see the gap it creates. And then also, since it's not zipped on, this portion right here creates like a little pouch underneath of the winter cover there, so you can throw a couple extra things in for some more room. And you can see it's nice and tight for the most part. But on the outside it doesn't matter because the netting on the inside is giving it the shape, which you're not losing any area inside, space inside at all, but you're gaining the winter cover versatility and use of that. Also with the underquilt protector to keep it nice and sealed around the foot end here, keep things nice and tight. What I do is, since the shock cord for my hammock gear -10 incubator is so hefty and it fills up the underquilt hook, I just make a little marlin spike hitch with the lines from the shock cord from the underquilt protector, and that brings them up here on the top, and then they run down to the little mini beaner I have on there, and it keeps these ends pulled up nice and tight around the end here. Keeps everything nice and sealed in. You can see normally when the hammock's loaded, it's kind of windy right now, but that stays in there. And I've not had one issue with it yet. You can add, you can fold it up under a little bit more if you want some more venting. So now it runs from the end all the way around there. And you could even make it more of an vent if you wanted to. You could use some little clips and run it the whole length. If you're a real sweat box and you really get heated up in there, you've got the mesh showing all the way around this side. But I usually don't. I usually just leave it hanging there, and the shock cord keeps it down pretty much for the most part. I usually don't have any issues. I've still got full use of the entire hammock and all its, function and everything, but I've got that little bit extra of an airspace between these two, and having both of them really helps to keep a little bit more heat in, but I'm letting that extra condensation out that would get built up in there. So there's not much of a trade-off at all. Like I said, I've never had any extra condensation buildup or issues. And then on top of that, I've added, since I do have the extra the ventability here, I've added some silicone waterproofer to the outside of the winter cover, 2 coats of it, just to, it says breathable and waterproof, but we all know that's pretty much not possible. But even though I've waterproofed this, I'm not really getting any negative effects, and I haven't noticed any negative effects since I've got the vent right by my head. There's really, like I said, there's no buildup of condensation at all. And I've got more versatility. I don't have to put the tarp down if I've got dense fog coming off the water, or flurries, or light snow, or rain, a little bit of rain. It keeps me dry a little bit longer. So that's how I'm doing it. If you got any questions or comments, let me know. Got my tarp up in the snake skin there, the xenon skin from Hammock Gear. I've got my trekking poles clipped there just in case I need to use them for the guy outs. So I'm all ready to go in case it does start to rain real hard. But, you know, I don't have to draw the tarp down unless I really need to, because I've got the winter cover on. You know, it's supposed to get down to 16 degrees, 15 degrees, probably in the single digits with the wind here towards the end of the week. And I won't feel hardly any wind at all, even without the tarp on, because I've got the winter cover on top of the netting. And even though I'm using the minus 10 degree quilts and they're, you know, completely full of all the down, I think, with that netting vent right by my head, I won't have any condensation problems at all. So, you know, if you have an older XLC and, you know, you want to be able to, you know, have a vent with the winter cover and it's, you know, and still use it until maybe, you know, maybe you like the idea of having the new XLC with the vent and top cover, you know, underquilt protector and winter cover zipped together, which Warbonnet guy Brandon posted on the forum that you can use an older model XLC with a newer top cover and underquilt protector, since they zip together, and it'll create kind of like a sock, which will just have the XLC inside it. They won't be zipped to it, and it'll be kind of like this, but they'll be zipped together and still clipped out. So kind of the same idea, and you'll also have the vents, you know, where they are. But, you know, if you can't afford that right now, this is, you know, another option where you can still use your top cover and your underquilt protector and a vent at the same time. Plus having, like I said, having the net on it also gives you just a little bit more heat retention inside without, you know, any negative effects that I've seen at all. So like I said, let me know if you've got any questions. Here you can see a close-up of, so I'm just toggling them together, and then I'm just folding that under there, and then you know, other than that, it's standard normal. Just kind of, you can, sometimes I'll take this shot cord and I'll tie it in there if it's really windy. Sorry about that. Kind of keep it up a little bit, keep it from blowing. But as you can see, there's no gap over here whatsoever, even though it's not zipped on. You're really getting almost 100% coverage, other than the vent over on the head side. And like I said, you could use some little clips and clip this down to the zipper, like right here, so you can still get in and out, but it'll keep it together a little bit more if you wanted to. You know, play around with it. And you know, the end, like I said, the end is closed up nice and tight, but it still moves when I get in and out. So, like I said, let me know if you got any questions on how I'm doing it, but I figure I'll, you know, do a little video to show you guys that there's another option instead of, you know, if you can't afford the new Blackbird right now, but you know, you want to vent with your winter cover, that's another way to go. So, Chesapeake on a kind of brisk Chesapeake day here on the bay. Talk to you guys later.